Hi everyone. So today our podcast we have guest Dr. Arnab Mitra, who was a distinguished professor at Florida State University in physics, and then he returned to India and now doing a lot of good stuff for educating the school children so that they can cope up with the latest state of the art technologies. And I'll come back to that. And you also have Shantanu Panda, who is a game developer. So today our topic is, does it make sense to teach or train the kids in game development? We know that every kid love mobile games. They may be playing a lot of games in PlayStation and other stuff. But as a parent, do you want them to invest more timing in learning how these games are developed, or you want them only to play the games? And then next question is, does it make sense for you to train them in the area of game development? Because right now, virtual reality and augmentative reality is ruling the world. I mean, you take out of any kind of military warfare, you talk about any kind of remote operation by the robotics, everything is done through game development. I'll come back to that detail later because that's also what I do research in UMDC or University of Maryland and Baltimore County. Our center, which is called CART, Center for Autonomous Research, we do a lot of stuff on game development and how that is extended in remote robotics and robotical warfare. So this area is becoming very important. And as you know that right now, traditional education is not really leading anywhere. And the kids who are actually learning programming, learning robotics, learning this kind of extracurricular technological skills from the schools, the data is out there. Provenly, they have done far better compared to other students who are just carrying out their traditional way out. Even I can tell you this, that I've seen the kids who have been learning programming from class 6 or class 7 and then maybe having a very poor academic result, they are doing or earning 3 to 4 times more than most of the average IITians in Bangalore and Pune. And if you want the statistics and data, I can give it to you because many of them have worked with me. So welcome, or Arnav. First of all, I have to thank you for taking this initiative. So first of all, I would like to know your journey. That why did you think that this kind of advanced technological skills, or I would say state of the skills that our students need to know, maybe at a BTech level, why do you think that's becoming so important in the school level? I'll come back to my story about this, but I would like to hear it from you. Why did you feel it?
First of all, thanks for having me. And so basically, see, I run a game development company, okay? And when we are looking for game developers, we advertised for game developer positions. And in LinkedIn, Naukri, Times Jobs, and kind of pretty much all sorts of uh, regular job hunting channels, and we simply couldn't find any suitable candidate. Okay, now people say there are not many jobs. We can't find jobs. The thing is, there are not enough properly trained candidates or applicants as well.
Actually, Arnav, I want to pause you. I tell you a very interesting story.
Mhm.
As you know, that gazebo is a central, right? Gazebo is a physics-based engine which is central to all game development, which means the game developer need to know both C++, language of computer science, as well as very well physics. That is in gazebo. So
Right.
you will figure out, and I wrote this thing. There are hundreds and thousands of physics graduates passing out MSc, crying for the job. We are not getting job. We are not getting job. At the same time, what you are facing, I face the same thing, but at the university level, we cannot even hire people because they do not have game development background.
Exactly, exactly. And what you are saying is absolutely right. I mean, people coming out of so-called general stream, physics, chemistry, there is absolutely no jobs in the market. But if they have even basic knowledge or training of things like game development or virtual reality technology, augmented reality technology, things that you mentioned from their early age, like school level or college level, while they're doing their studies side by side, then I mean, a whole new world of jobs and opportunities open up to them. And India is so much lacking in this kind of industry ready training that I think it's absolutely essential to start from school level.
And
because
another thing I want to tell you, I started doing the industry level training from the bachelor level, engineering
Mhm.
level. But I had to trace back and then come back to the schools. What I figured out is by the time they're reaching to the college, these Indian students are exhausted, their imagination is killed, they're done. You cannot do
Right,
any good thing with them. So I've
right,
actually decided not to do anything with after class 12. Because after class 12, what they'll be doing is their matter. We have to, in fact, build the nation or build them from the schools because at least their imagination, because to be a game developer, the imagination is absolutely important. Without imagination and creativity, nobody can be a game developer, and that is getting killed by the school system. So you have to catch them young, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you are absolutely right. I mean, in our school, forget about trying to enrich our kids' imagination. There is a conscious effort to kill their imagination, right? So that is what we try to address as much as we could using these kind of alternative. I mean, these are very mainstream right now, but still, to many parents or many schools or many communities in India, still there are alternative forms of education, like things like game development or augmented reality, virtual reality, this kind of training, because these are not traditional mathematics or physics or biology that they can just mug up and vomit in the exam center, right?
That is another point I want to bring it to the parents. So basically, see, ultimately, for your kids to be successful in career, they should be able to relate the reality. Reality means everything that you see around, what's happening in market, what's happening in your daily life, with something that actually being talked in software or some kind of software output. And game is the best way to do that. And unfortunately, even if you look at, what is the mathematics, what is the language, it does the same thing. It captures the reality around your market, around your feelings into language or into mathematical language. But the way today the students are learning in the school, they're basically learning a few formulas. So the basic purpose of mathematics or language, everything is lost. And this is exactly what I see that why students should do programming from the school or learn games from the school. Because it's the gaming is also kind of a language where basically they can see their realistic concept being modeled into this. And
Right.
and I think this big gap in education, if it is continued to happen in any kids, then in future they are not going to do very well in their career because whether you are in a physics, chemistry, or engineering or computer science, anywhere it is all about learning the reality, learning the market demand, and reflecting that into your output.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, tell me, how many students so far you have taught and in your institute, and how do you see that's coming up? For the
Actually, it's fairly new. It's very new. We just started. Well, the concept was it was kind of conceptualized last year, and then we started teaching from this year. So right now, what we are doing is we have one division that's mainly aimed for little bit senior, older students, college students, or higher secondary students, and there we teach mainly like personality development, soft skills, corporate readiness, those kind of things. And these things we have already started, and we are teaching to different colleges. Okay, so for example, this 13th of April, we are going to present in a very reputed college in engineering college in Kolkata. So we are doing that, and the school staff. This is fairly new. So far, we have just started teaching some individual students on a one-on-one basis. But to be honest, this is our first like mass kind of
I see for the students. So
platform.
let me tell you my experience. So in
Mhm.
US, for my own son, I mean, when he was in class 7 and 8, so I actually gathered 5 or 6 of his friends, and we
Mhm.
did the same thing. Okay, let's learn some mobile gaming. Okay.
Mhm.
And the way I did it that time is that initially I told them to do market research. So have an idea what game you want to develop. Do a complete market research. These kids are smart, awfully smart, and challenge each other. So everybody was presenting in my home their ideas about their market feasibility and market success, and the other students were going to the Google and showing them there are like hundreds of similar apps already exist. They're very smart. It's okay. You have to really have something unique and different. Yeah. Now, why I did this because ultimately, we are getting into an age of AI where human experience is going to be supreme, not like knowing a bit of a coding or bit of skill is going to be helpful. So I think, yeah, I hope, I mean, in your curriculum, this thing also be emphasized that not only they develop a game, it should also fuel their imagination. It will fuel the basic market research they need to do. Something, that AI system cannot do effectively because it depends on the human experience.
Right, exactly. And we have actually an AI training division as well. So as you know, we are trying to kind of incorporate and kind of take elements from each other. And of course, Shantanu here is a very, very experienced game developer. See, as a game development company, we deal with many game developers, but we specifically chose Shantanu because of his like inquisitive nature and what you were saying, the imaginative part, right? Because just teaching line by line coding
No,
is not going to
you
help the
have
kids.
to make the kid curious. You have to make the kids thriving for knowledge. They will go into Google. They have to figure out the next thing that you did not tell. I hate when student does what I tell them to do, because I also take free classes and I told them I will hate you if I see you are only doing what I am actually telling you to do. You have to do more. Figure out the next step by yourself, right? Then you know that that student is basically learning. So, Shantanu, just let us some introduction of yours. I know that you are a game developer. So, can you tell me, like, what kind of platform you will be giving it to them, and I mean, whether they need any kind of prerequisite of any kind of knowledge like a JavaScript or C++, or they just don't need to know anything and can start fresh.
Yeah, if I come to
Shantanu?
that, yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, as Arnav already said, I'm in this industry from last 10 plus years. So I started my journey as a game developer, and then I'm switched to AR and VR developments and kind of simulation and other stuff for AR and VR. We are actually doing it in Unity 3D. That's the most popular game engine, which is currently in the market, which is compete Unreal. And
Yeah, but the kids
Unreal
will
is,
not, the kids will not be able to learn Unity 3D, right? I mean, so how
yeah,
you plan to do it?
I'll come to that because Unity 3D it is a little bit tricky and it also needs some programming skill set. Like from the language point of view, they need to learn C# .NET. Then they can start doing it in Unity 3D. But recently, Unity also introduced one more platform. It's called visual scripting, where you no need to learn any C#. You can just drag and drop thing, and you can connect it just like a flow programming language. It's a node-based programming language, but that is also all tricky for the age group of maybe seven,
Shantanu,
eight.
I think your voice is being broken up. I don't think that parent will not be able to hear it. So, Arnab, if I am correct, I mean, it will be difficult in hearing Shantanu. So, I guess that what he's trying to say is that they will learn a Bach language that's actually founded in MIT, and typically, what I love about block language, my even daughter does that. I mean, they love it. They basically have to keep the blocks and do it. And by the way, in future, I would not say that learning language is going to give you a very good incentive for the kids, because today, because of the chat GPT and all automation, those things are not necessary. You can actually do this kind of Lego block. So all,
Right.
if you is the way it is transforming, the way the industry is transforming, you need the skill of imagination, that the masonry skill, that you get all the blocks, you get all the imagination, you get all the market research and build their own product.
It's more about programming your imagination and logical skill rather than to know a language. Language is just a way to represent your logic in a manner
Yeah,
of computer
and they
can
don't need to
understand. It can be
learn,
any
and,
language.
and today they don't. Right. Now, this is very good. This is very good. So basically, sort of, can you give a summary of what do you think that you can teach to these school students, let's say who are from the class 5 to 8? So let's talk about few things. It will, extend their imagination. It will extend their basic knowledge of physics and mathematics in some sense of language, and this will also extend, let's say, in terms of the imagination skill. And I would also add that you should allow them to develop their own game a little bit, plan their own game by doing a little bit of market research from the Google and other, by researching different apps that can be their competition, because people need to know the aspect of market as well. I mean, you cannot be just successful by being imaginative in this world. Your imagination has to match with the market need. This is I keep on telling the people. So go ahead, Arnab. Tell me, like, how do you think that this kind of basic sense, which is absolutely required for the student to be successful in today's environment?
Right. So basically, what Shantanu is saying, that there is no prerequisite as such. Okay, there is no prerequisite, and Shantanu himself is a Unity 3D developer. But so he's teaching the game development that he will be teaching will be based on the concept of Unity 3D, but he will not teach any Unity 3D coding directly, because that's it will be a little bit complicated and tough for a student of class 5, 6, 7, or 8. Okay, so he will be teaching something called, Shantanu, please correct me if I'm wrong. It will be based on two things. One is called visual scripts, where he can kind of drag and drop stuff. So it's kind of just like a one ladder down
Uh,
Unity.
right. Or no, I think just to remind all the guardians that if they join our WhatsApp group in this, uh, I think Shantanu will take a master class to show how this will be done. So that was the whole purpose of master class. I'll request our student and guardian to join the master class where Shantanu will give a demonstration how this kind of visual language works and whether your kids can pick it up. It's so simple. As I said, my even daughter is doing it for the class 3 level. I mean, it's not a problem.
Right. So visual scripting as well as block, what you were saying. I think you already mentioned that your daughter also does this. That these are absolutely fun stuff. Okay. So if you tell a kid that, okay, go learn coding, then I'm sure he will not.
No, they will not. They will not. And
They
they
will
don't need to. Or today, when they don't need to. Today, with the age of ChatGPT, they don't need to. All they need to
right.
know is like how to use that coding.
Right. So they will have a lot of fun using this kind of drag and drop stuff, doing this, doing that, drawing this, and then merging stuff. And they see a moving car, running car. They are building a game where it could be as simple as like a tic-tac-toe initially, or a 2D game, then something like a very basic car racing, things like that. When they see that they can build something like that, I think it will be like uh, it will be a very interesting stuff and motivating stuff for them.
Okay, so for everyone, I would like to remind you that we are actually Arnab and Shantanu is starting this course in another 2-3 weeks. And there'll be a master class. I will basically request all the interested student and guardian and parents to join that class by Shantanu to see what it is all about, because many of them may not be understanding right now what Honorable is saying. You need to experience, you need to feel how much your kids are loving that. I would request everybody to join that master class. We'll actually fix up a date and we'll also tell you like how will you get the information about that master class. One thing I certainly have to tell you that I actually ran that program for my son and their friends for like 2 years, and my entire goal was to give them not just only the game development. I wanted them to be exposed to the world, like how they can do market research, how they can actually use their imagination, where exactly even some of the language will be uses. And this is a part of the new kind of education that they need to do. Instead of teachers telling them something to do, they have to go out, search where it is, and find out. I mean, the entire education system has changed to be successful. Those who are in the profession, they will understand what I'm talking about. I mean, they feel it, very, very acutely that our school systems are basically producing handicapped. And that's why I'm telling that just to start from the school so that their attitude change. In fact, I do free teaching of science, math, and in all the class, everything I'm trying to do is how they can go to Google, how they can go to ChatGPT, how they can do, and they get me the information. Instead, I, as a teacher, telling them, because that's how they're becoming accustomed in the schools, and which is very detrimental to their growth in modern age, because this is not how they will survive in any profession. They have to go out and seek the knowledge, learn, right? And the teacher is just somebody who's guiding them. That's exactly how we believe in our STEM Talent Foundation. This is our entire goal, that basically we will let them be a seeker instead of a receiver. I mean, that's what I believe is the mantra of the modern education. So, Arnab, thank you. So, is there anything that you want to summarize? Because we'll definitely, with this video, we'll basically post a WhatsApp group link where every student and guardian can join. And in that WhatsApp group, we'll be posting all the information when Shantanu will take a master class. And I would suggest you should actually join the master class to see whether your kids are liking it, what it is, what is called block language, how much fun it is, and then you decide for yourself what you want to do for your kids. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, no matter what we say, मतलब जब तक वो लोग खुद नहीं देख रहा है, until they see themselves how much fun it is, they will not understand. So it's absolutely essential. Whether they take the class or not is totally up to them, and it's a different matter. But
No,
they
absolutely. I think that they should actually, as I said, whether you want to join or not, let's come and have the fun and understand
right. They should
like what
definitely attend the
kids
master class to see how interesting it is.
That's correct. So fine. So I'll actually post this podcast into our different social media channel. We have this Facebook, YouTube, and different channel. And I would suggest that basically let's see that whether we can start this masterclass in 2 or 3 weeks, because this is right now a little bit of a lean time for the student. Their new session is starting. Their result is just out. I do see that they have a lot more time to digest the new thing, because as you go to the later part of the year, they become more serious about the marks and stuff.
Right.
So we'll see that how quickly we can, assimilate this thing. Okay, is there anything else, Arnav, that you think I have missed to convey to the parents?
No, I think I'm good. Shantanu, you want to say anything?
No, that's nothing from my end so far. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So I'm actually then ending the podcast. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.